But it's, again, it just tells the story of it's the evil and the ugliness of people's hearts these days is everywhere.
This is Franky Rose's Think Tank. Here's your host, Franky Rose.
Well, hey guys, welcome back to the Think Tank. So it's been a busy morning. We did our first stream with the alternate coroner talking about Karen Reed, and we just finished watching the morning session of the trial with I call it the missing mom, Jennifer Dulos. So it is the Connecticut versus Michelle Triconis. And we will probably take another look at that later. Jasmine. And let's see here where we're going to start. We will get through all of this stuff and we'll just start with, here we are. Let's do this.
9:15, and we took that to mean us, and so that's what time we went. Our apologies.
Okay, well, so Mr. Tucker is, oh, hallelujah.
Come on. Yeah.
She's just physically unable to endure the rigors of travel and appearing live in person. Those are the questions. So, in other words,
If you would, Your Honor, if I might.
yeah.
No, I understand totally that note is definitely vague, and you definitely need more details than that. I would understand that. If you recall, I didn't send the note. I didn't see it before Your Honor saw it. So let me go ahead and I'll get with them and make sure they send you a much more detailed explanation.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to really pry into Miss Del Monte's personal health information. I mean, it's not news that unfortunately the woman is very ill.
Yeah.
There's no question about that. That's
Yeah.
a fact that we've all operated with for many years now, frankly. But
Well,
nevertheless, when it comes down to this trial and her personal appearance, that's pretty important.
Oh, definitely, Your Honor. And
seems like it would be.
I think they could also do it where they don't give away any of her privileged medical information, but they could also put it in a way that, Your Honor would know that she is definitely not capable of showing up here in person. One of the things, just to let Your Honor know, it is a condition that is on top of what we already knew was a life-threatening condition. So, and she was under quarantine. That they could at least put in there that she was under quarantine.
Yeah, I don't really need to have any details about what specifically is, but if the doctors say this woman is going to be in the hospital for the foreseeable future, even if she gets out, it would be a threat to her health to travel to the courthouse, be in the courthouse, get on the witness stand, endure the rigors of personal cross-examination. All that can be provided without compromising any confidential information.
Yep.
Moreover, in terms of the law on this ongoing issue, I've done some research, had staff do some research, and there's a case from the Florida Supreme Court, Harrell versus State, 709 Southern 2nd, 1364. That's 709 Southern 2nd, 1364 from 98. But it's, to me, it's right on point. It talks about the utilization of remote transmission of testimony in lieu of a deposition to perpetuate. Now, that was before the days of Zoom, but they were talking about satellite transmission. And ultimately, the court left to the sound discretion of the judge in so many words, but I wanted to be sure that it was a valid reason for the witness not to be able to appear, either due to illness or being outside the jurisdiction, and an analysis of the interests and procedures, which would be best, and who's calling the witness and the like. So ultimately, I think it comes down to an exercise of sound discretion. And if technically it can happen, and if she's unable to be here, and there can be the provisions where we're going to have the most assurance that it's going to go as smoothly as we can hope for, again, without being able to control everything. There's always the unknown. It seems like it would favor the Zoom, but if you all want to look at that case, it would be instructive.
Yes, sir.
So, otherwise, state is ready to proceed.
Judge, we are ready to proceed. I just want to check, our witness went to the office, and I think she's walking over now. So let me just check them all, see if she's here.
What about the defendant?
Yes, I'm ready to proceed, Your Honor.
And the jurors are here, but let's just wait till Mr. Mansfield makes this check. Just curious. All right. Yeah. All right. Bring in
Coming up the elevator, and they are here.
All right, so let's bring in the jury, please. Good morning, ladies, gentlemen of the jury. Great to see you all here this morning. Thank you for being here on time. Sorry you had to wait a few minutes to come out, but as I've tried to explain, frequently there's things that arise that the judge needs to address. They're not for the jurors' consideration, and those things happen. I try to expedite them to the extent that I can, and I'm always aware of your time. I don't take it for granted. So thank you for your patience this morning. As I say, it's good to see you. I know it's been a long week. You know, we've had a busy week. From my vantage point, a productive week. And so today's Friday. And as you know from my scheduling announcements, that Monday is a national holiday. It's a state court holiday. We won't be in session. So after today, the next time we'll be in session is Tuesday. But for today, you know, the state commenced presentation of its case in chief yesterday, and we're going to allow them to continue with that today. So please continue to give what's presented to you your close attention and focus. And with that, State, your next witness.
Yes, Your Honor, State would call Deputy Danielle Malone.
All right. Deputy Danielle Malone. Please come forward, ma'am, right through the gate there. You would approach the deputy positioned in front of the witness stand. Say stop right there is good. Turn, face the clerk. Raise your right hand.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you will give in the cause now and hearing shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? I do.
All right, please have a seat on the witness stand. So, good morning. I did note that you brought what looked like some sort of binder you carried up to the witness stand with you, and that's all right, except you cannot refer to that while you're testifying unless you're specifically asked and allowed to do so.
Yes, sir.
All right. And please speak loudly and clearly.
Thank you, Your Honor. May I proceed?
Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Please state your name again for the record, please.
My name is Danielle Malone,
And where are you currently employed?
the Monroe County Sheriff's Office.
And in what capacity are you employed there?
I am currently employed as a communications supervisor in the 911 center
How long have you been employed with the Monroe County Sheriff's Office?
since January 2007.
That's approximately, what, 15, 16 years?
Yeah, I believe it's 16.
Have you always served in the communications division, or have you served in other areas?
I've served in other areas within the agency.
Please explain for the jury what other areas you've served.
When I first started, I was a deputy sheriff trainee, went through the police academy, and then I was on road patrol for approximately 4.5 years. And then I moved into a canine handler spot, which is also road patrol, just with the dog. Did that for about 4.5 years. After that, my dog retired and I went back to being road patrol for about 6-7 months. Then I went into the communications department for approximately 9 months. And then from the communications department, went into the major crimes detective bureau and was there for, I think, 2.5 years.
Okay, I'd like to direct your attention to November 17th of 2017. Were you working in the major crimes unit at that time?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and did you have an opportunity to become involved in a case that's commonly referred to as a treehouse case?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and what was the nature of your involvement in that case?
I was one of the assisting detectives to
To investigate the case?
yes, to investigate the case.
Okay, and during the course of that investigation, were you ever asked to retrieve and obtain videos that may be relevant to this case?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and did you in fact do so?
Yes, sir.
And were those videos provided to you by Detective Fernandez of the Monroe County Sheriff's Office?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Commissioner Franky.
Yes.
if you would like to take a look at that exhibit, please, indicate here. Familiar with that item?
Yes, sir.
And what is that?
It's a it's a flash drive with Cosme video surveillance.
Those are the ones that were provided to you by Detective Fernandez.
I believe this is a copy of
A
it.
copy of it?
Yes.
Have you had an opportunity to review that?
Yes, I've reviewed this flash drive.
Okay, and does it fairly accurately represent the video footage that you retrieved in reference to this case?
Yes, sir.
This time we move states.
H.
States H into evidence.
Is there any objection?
Yes, Your Honor, just only because I haven't seen what videos are on the tape. I don't know what's on the flash drive. You know.
Well, did you want to confer with the prosecutor or?
Yeah, just for a second, because I'd like to see what's on the drive, just if I could. Oh, okay. You're talking about the following two. Okay, as long as it's just those videos, that's fine. No, I've definitely watched those videos thousands of times. I've never seen that. So.
Judge, move the exhibit H into evidence.
Is there any objection?
No.
All right, so H is admitted into evidence as the next in order, being number 8.
This time I would like to publish the videos.
All right, you can do it. We'll
If court may allow, I think I can use one of our investigators just to, while I ask questions, he's going to
work or the video.
Work them out, sir.
All right, that's fine. Mr. Tucker, if you don't have an adequate view from where you are, then you can position yourself where you were yesterday during the publication of the video.
I appreciate it, Your Honor. Thank you. There's a secret behind you.
These videos together and you can explain for the jury. Sure.
A little bit of a slow start, but I don't know. There's some pretty interesting characters in this case, so I'm pretty darn sure we're going to be livening up.
All right, let's roll.
Yep, it sure is dandy.
I believe it's going to be the other video is going to be first.
I just had a big bowl of popcorn for lunch. Had to hide.
Detective Malone, while we're setting up those videos, I just wanted to ask you a couple of quick groundwork questions. Did you have an opportunity to review the videos for evidentiary value? And based on your training experience, they did reveal some type of evidentiary value that you can explain to the jury, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I don't know what to think of this video here.
Well, there's no question.
Detective Malone, would you please direct Mr. Muller to the exact location of the video that you would like to display to the jury?
I haven't figured this out yet.
Copy of my report, I have the timestamp.
that'll refresh your recollection.
Yes, sir.
It
You have
shows
your report with you?
people.
I do.
Okay, Judge, may the state refresh your recollection?
Yes.
It's in my
I hope we get some clarification as far as this goes. And then the other one as well, where,
The state would need to show to the defendant whatever document she's using to refresh recollection.
Thank you.
so this one here is where they'll show that vehicle pull up, possibly park, and then two people
The video camera
start walking
has the
by
Marine,
kind of
which
that
is
center
a
area.
business that is just off, right next door to the tree house. This is the Marine lot here. Right here is a vacant lot.
I'm sorry, Mr. Tucker, what?
I was wondering, this isn't an official objection. I was just wondering if there's any way we can make it bigger for the jury to see. Because they got it in a window that's just, there we go, full screen. That's what I was asking.
This is the Marine repair shop with their boats and their fence, their lot. This is their covering. Directly across the street, you see the lights here. This is the parking lot of CVS and then the CVS building.
Okay. that
Right
makes
here
sense.
at the time in 2017, this was a vacant lot. And right next to this boat is the fence for the yard, for the treehouse, for the residents.
So we all remember the tree house, right?
What time would you like jury you to be able to?
The tree house.
The first timestamp will be 1943.
Minus 32 Celsius right now. Ooh, it's warmed up. Okay, so there's going to show that vehicle. I see the headlights. And it looks like a truck. Jasmine says hello. Oh.
Can you explain for the jury what you're seeing, what the evidentiary value you found during the course of the investigation is?
Coming up here in a couple of seconds, we're going to see a vehicle pull
There we go.
onto the screen coming from this way. Based on my interview, based on the interview with the getaway driver, John Travis Johnson, he advised that he pulled up with.
Actually, you can't say it. Objection, Your Honor. Objection, Your Honor. She's speaking for the other witness. She's-
I'm gonna sustain the objection, that's.
This guy seems to know a little bit about the law.
See what evidentiary value, if any, is.
We're going to see a pickup truck pull into view and then pull up right in front of these folks. It would be 1943 in about 23 seconds.
Right? I know he's not doing too bad. Here's the truck.
Yes, sir.
No, he's
What
not.
evidentiary value does that have, based on your investigation?
That
Now you're gonna see two people.
it is consistent with the vehicle pulling up initially and then leaving and coming back a few minutes later.
It's consistent with the vehicle that's alleged to have gone to the treehouse in this case, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is there anything of evidentiary value on this video?
In at 19:45 and 15 seconds, the truck pulls back up in the same direction that it came from.
Okay. Buddy, move. Move your head. And there's the truck again.
Stumps. You can see on the video, right here in the light that
Yeah.
it's there when the truck stopped. In about a minute, if that, a little less than a minute, you're gonna see in this portion right here.
There we are.
one person,
1,
two
2.
people walking towards where the tree house is.
And there's the truck again. Move your head too. Oh my God.
You can see in that, in between, that little spot in between the two boats, the light from the vehicle. And then you're gonna see one figure appear here ahead, and then the second figure appear here.
Mm-hmm.
walking
1, 2.
Toward the trees.
Gotcha.
Is there a second video that you,
Yes.
you've heard of that you got?
You can't even make those 2 people out.
Is there anything of value based on the training and investigation in this case on this video?
It's at 19:51 and 17 seconds.
What would the jury be looking at that portion of the video?
When this portion starts, you're
I
gonna
wonder
see
if this guy's doing this
where
intentionally.
the tree house is, right next to this boat. You're gonna see something come out here with a flashlight.
Something or someone?
Somebody
Okay.
that has a flashlight in their hand. You're gonna see the flashlight bobbing
Okay.
as they go up this hill, this bank to the CPS parking lot.
Oh yeah, it's down near 40 below here, guys, and I'm barefoot. I'd be interested to know what they make of this.
If I'm asked while we're waiting for that, take the light.
That's the gentleman going up in the parking lot.
And at the right of the screen, the truck that pulled up is still there, correct?
It appears to be, yes.
Well, we can't tell
Just to
because
recap,
look.
You see,
Objection, Your Honor. It's speculative. You know.
About speculative, but it's asked and answered, so go to the next
very
question.
well. Is there anything else of evidentiary value on this video?
On this video, this section of the video.
Okay, then let's move to the second video that you reviewed so that we can play for the jury, please. And describe for the jury what they're going to be seeing in this video, please.
This video is where that video just ended. This is picking up right there with the video. Video files are sometimes too large to do all at once. So especially surveillance, you get them in sections, and this is the next section of this.
Did you have an opportunity to review this video for evidentiary value?
Yes, sir.
And you need to refresh your recollection with respect to the part of the video that's relevant for the jury.
Yes, if I could just look at the times. Should be. Okay, I think it's good, because the time step 51:34, so it should be the very, last second of that first video.
This guy really needs to move.
The previous video.
Okay.
And what are we looking for here? What is evidentiary value here that the jury sees?
quickly see the flashlight come up here, and we're gonna see person wearing all dark running. It's very quick and it just happened. So,
Move, buddy. Oh my God, man.
somebody come out from the treehouse. Right in here.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And run that in the
One.
direction of where the truck was, where the truck is stopped.
Very well, thank you.
And then on the next video.
Ma'am, he has a nice
Oh,
question.
excuse me, Judge, I was confirmed with my.
I understand.
And on the second video, you do the second video for evidentiary value.
Yes, sir.
Please look at that video and please provide where we can go as far as timestamps to.
1951-51.
Also, what I'm wondering, Dandy. Yes, I'm wondering the same thing.
Come out this area, I walk right here, and they're gonna walk up this way, and they're gonna come up into the town.
What, if any, evidentiary value is that?
That was one of the subjects that was in the trailer at the treehouse.
Based on your training and experience and your investigation in this case, that's what you conclude.
Yes, sir.
With respect to this video, is there anything else of evidentiary value?
Yes.
Didn't really get to see that.
1952 Cody, you're gonna see the gentleman with the flashlight. That's gonna be up here, he's gonna come back down and walk back.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything that's screaming guilt as far as Ty Tucker goes. Not at all. Hello, Tony. Yes, this is. Yeah, indeed. Indeed it is.
And now walking up this way. And then very shortly, we're gonna walk back up that way, and then the gentleman that we saw just walking out, we're back on the street again up near the
I thought the
CVS.
getaway driver bolted on.
Objection, Your Honor. She's saying it's the same person. She can't possibly tell that. There's no way she can tell that.
I'm going to overrule the objection.
But he's right.
Certainly cross-examiner.
And they're coming up into the CVS parking lot. And then
How does she know if that's the same person or not? Like what?
1954 and 13 seconds. You're gonna see a subject again come from here,
Here comes the snowblower, guys.
again heading in the direction where, towards Second Street, where the truck was parked in between these boats. He's gonna be.
Yeah, that's exactly what they said, Tony. The getaway guy heard what was happening and split.
He's not running, he's not walking, but he's. We'll see when it comes out.
I don't know. Hang on here for a second. Okay, so this here, isn't that same truck? Or am I mistaken? So why are these people, if that's the case, going up here? I'm confused. This case is all over the place, guys. Ole. Exactly, Dandy.
And believe that is everything that's on these.
Very well. Okay, thank you so much.
That proves nothing. What was that? Oh my word. Oh my word. Tyrone, Tucker's gonna go at her. Prove it. I don't know. Not very often do I think that there's suspicious activities actually going on with LE, but you know what? I'm a little curious about this one. I don't know what the hell's going on.
Videos.
Back to the lime green walls, guys.
Jury, did you do anything else in this case?
I also did the initial interview of Paula Belmonte.
Address that in a moment.
Who says that Ty was not
With
there?
respect to collecting any samples of DNA for swabs and testing, did you do any of that?
Yes, sir. I took the buccal swabs from Rory Wilson and Franklin Tucker.
Commissioner Pruitt.
Yes.
So Franklin Tyrone Tucker goes by Ty Tucker.
As far as collecting DNA swabs from potential suspects, is that a formal class that you go to? Do you learn it at the sheriff's department? Please explain for the jury how you did that, how you learned that.
When I came into major crimes, one of the more senior major crimes detectives walked me through it, showed me how to do it, and actually was with me the first couple times that I had taken local DNA swabs from subjects.
Okay, can you please describe that process for the jury?
So when we're taking a DNA swab, a buccal swab, they come in a sterile packet, and it's basically a Q-tip with a wood stick, and they're pretty long, about yay long. We ask the subject to open their mouth. We put on protective latex or nitrile gloves. We have the subject open their mouth. We open the sterile package. We insert the Q-tip into their mouth, onto the inside of their cheek. And then we do at least 3 circles going like one way clockwise and then going counterclockwise in the other. Then we take that swab, we put it back into that sterile case. Then we put it into a small cardboard case that is specifically for buccal swabs. Tape that up, and then we put it into a brown paper bag, and that gets taped up. We also do a second swab. We take the exact same process, another sterile Q-tip, and have the subject open their mouth, and then we swab the opposite cheek and making big circles, back into the cardboard box that gets sealed. The box gets labeled with date and time that we took the sample, who we took the sample from, and then them boxes go into the brown paper bag that gets all taped up and then gets labels printed onto it with barcodes for tracking for property.
You indicated that in this case, you took swabs from Mr. Rory Hank Wilson and also from Mr. Franklin Tyrone Tucker, the defendant in this case. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
I really have a hard time with the fact that one of the people that was attacked says that it was not him.
We should approach the witness.
Yes.
That makes it really, really hard when they bring her up and she says, no, it was not him. What does that leave the jury with?
Yes, sir. I see my initials on the tape and on the label that was made on this one, and the same thing here. I see my initials on the edges of the tape, on the label, and again, the edges of the tape that's on the backside.
And exhibit I, which is the swab that was taken from the defendant, in this case, Mr. Tucker, did you follow the same procedures just described for the jury?
Yes, sir.
Did you deviate from those procedures in any shape, fashion, or form?
No, sir.
The same questions for State's Exhibit J. In that one, it's the swab you took from Mr. Wilson. Did you follow the same exact procedures?
Yeah, they said that they
Yes, sir.
didn't see the faces, but just basically
No, sir.
body size, frames, hands, voice.
State that for then I and J details.
Is there any objection? Admit those as the next two in order be 9 and 10.
Have a moment, Judge.
Yes.
You indicated that you conducted some interviews in this case, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and without telling me the substance of those interviews, who did you interview?
I interviewed Paula Bellamonte
Okay, and who else?
and
think so.
Roger
I think so.
Reboot, I believe is how you pronounce his last
Okay,
name.
and did you have an opportunity to interview Rory Hank Wilson?
I was in the interview room at times during his interview, yes.
Okay, so you participated in the process?
Yes, sir.
Okay, at this time, I have no further questions for you. Thank you.
It just goes by so fast, these witnesses. Boom, 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 boom.
Yes, is there any way I could get the, are you deputy now or?
No, I am not a deputy anymore.
Okay, okay. Well, Ms. Malone, could you please come up and help me with the video again? Because I wanted to go through the videos that you showed.
Hola, James.
We go ahead and go over your testimony.
So you want to publish that exhibit?
Yes, please.
What's that exhibit?
Yeah, they've already flagged this one, so I was like, oh my God. They watch like a hawk, and some channels more so.
Is that loaded up, or does that have to be, I'm asking the state.
Your Honor, if I may.
Have to learn a whole new language when you're streaming.
Video, the first Cosma's video.
I'm sorry, sir, I cannot.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This mic doesn't seem to be great. Your Honor, I was also asking if I may. There's been a video that was entered into evidence yesterday with Detective Fernandez that, Miss Malone is Miss Malone is very well aware of that video too, and it's also, part of my cross. So.
Yes, sir. You certainly can utilize whatever's been admitted into evidence and.
Could we also queue up, I'm sorry, could we also queue up the.
Really, I mean, it's you or the state perhaps can assist in terms of the publication of the video.
Yes, sir. We have no problem.
Thank you.
I do like this judge.
So which one would you like to start with?
Let's go ahead and start with the first Cosmos video.
Okay, that's number 7.
That would be the one from yesterday that Fernandez, Detective Fernandez put in.
Apparently, he likes
Fernandez.
to use number 7, if I understand correctly, the one that was submitted yesterday. Okay, there it is. So.
Based on the last stream, I think we all need to go to Denver for a concert. Okay. I think we're going to be watching the same thing with a different narration, right? I have to say, I'm rather impressed with this guy. He knows some of the laws, obviously, because the judge has been, what am I trying to say? He's been agreeing with a lot of his calls.
And if we could go ahead, and this is the first one, so let's go ahead and queue up to when the truck goes ahead and pulls up. I couldn't remember. Could you refresh my memory, Danielle?
19.
Is he calling her by her first name now?
In about 23 seconds. Mr. Tucker, do you want me over there?
That would actually help. I'd appreciate that.
This is going pretty smooth considering. Like, I just can't imagine suspect interviewing all the cops and everything along those lines. John Denver? Densmore, John's Denver? John Denver? Denver, John Densmore. Is that his real name? Was?
Parks there. We all agree on that, right?
Please speak up.
I'm sorry, we all agree that trucks behind the boats, correct?
Yeah, all the behind the boat, yes.
Now,
Right, you see that? Okay.
Ms. Malone, is this, did you say that you could see the driver in this video?
Of the truck, no.
And never? Have you ever said that you can actually see John Travis Johnson sitting in the truck in this video?
No, sir, I cannot see him in this video.
Did you ever say you could?
No, I never said I could see him. I said I could deduce that it wasn't.
Okay. There's something else I'll have to qualify with the state later. Okay.
Well, there's a
Now,
couple
in
of
this
them,
video,
right, Tony?
you
It's
say
like,
this corroborates evidence of what? Again, just remind me.
Evidence of
Objection to the question, Judge.
No, she testified. Sorry.
Overrule the objection. So
Okay. Ms. Malone, could you go ahead and just repeat for us what evidentiary value this video had?
based on the confession.
This guy's a bit zesty.
And their testimony stating who was in the trunk and what was happening with.
Speak up, like the judge said.
Thank you for your answer. And could you explain to me how that testimony, that this is a truck, we all agree on that, it's coming up. How does this, again, corroborate his testimony about who is in the truck?
There comes that truck in.
Because when he gave us his confession, he told us exactly what they did in the truck. Who was
Big time, Tony,
They
big
came
time.
once to scout the place and then came back a second time, and that's when the people got out of the truck and approached him.
If you're new, don't forget to
So that
subscribe.
confirms, again, that he admits
Hit
that
that
he
like
went
button.
around once. He admits that he went to the scene. But how does that, again, how does this video tell you anything about anybody that's in that truck?
Based on everything that I knew and know, that's who's in the truck.
Again, please tell me or tell the jury what report or what video you're referring to that tells you who's in that truck.
Objection, Judge, asked and answered.
yeah, that's been asked and answered. I'm going to sustain the objection.
Okay. Anyway, again, based on your training experience, you can tell who's in that truck. Okay, that's what you just said. Okay, just clarify. Okay, can we please go up to the next video?
Huh. Yeah, he might have some zest in him off and on. That won't help him.
Okay, again, this video is what I'm sure you're very familiar with it, Ms. Malone. Could you please explain to us what this video is again?
Yes, he is dandy.
The video from the Florida
You betcha.
Surveillance.
And David Fernandez was the one who was tasked with retrieving this video, though, correct?
I believe so.
Okay, I just freshen my memory here. Okay, and so but you're well aware of what's on the video, correct?
Yes, I watched
Okay.
it.
Okay. All right, please, if you would go ahead and just play it. We'll play it to when we see the person in the video.
This guy, eh? Yeah, he's definitely prepared. He's had time. And I read somewhere that he does have
Can we please
lawyers
stop
that he
there?
consults with.
Okay. Now, based on your investigation, who is that in the video?
Get out of the way.
John Travis Johnson, I'm not certain.
Okay.
The audio is
Just,
really bad.
refresh.
Just refreshing my memory as he
At the
keeps
time,
saying.
you were what level were you on the investigation as far as it being in charge or making decisions, please? I'm just trying to, again, I don't know the ranks of the MCSO.
I
So,
was assisting in the investigation. I was an assisting detective.
okay. And so in the hierarchy, it would have been Captain Phelps, a detective pitcher than yourself, correct? Oh, no, I'm sorry. I forgot about Sergeant Kellenberger. He would have been in between, correct? Okay, so it would have been pitcher than you, correct?
Yes.
Okay, good. I just want to make sure I understand. Okay, so again, you know who was in the video based on the investigation, not just from the video and surveilling the video, but again, from your position in the investigation, correct?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right, and who did you guys think was this person in this video originally when you originally were investigating, very beginning, when you were developing suspects?
I really don't recall.
Okay, do you
And
recall
here-
Captain Phelps? Or again, I seem to remember, but we'll figure that out later. But do you remember Captain Phelps saying anybody was in this video?
You say
Sustain, and
sustain the objection.
I'll withdraw. Yes, let's go ahead and, again, from your understanding.
Still entertaining, like
correct?
it's still, well, I don't know if entertaining.
Can we please continue the video, but we're going to have to
Still
go
something.
unknown. It's an unknown timestamp. We went to it yesterday. I just don't remember the timestamp on the video.
So who are they saying that is there? They saying that's him?
But that's John Travis Johnson. And which way is he heading right now?
John Travis Johnson.
It's like a walk from the rise myself. I'm not. Don't go to South Island very often. So that's apartments. He should be headed towards Town Farm.
I'm sorry, guys. I can't turn her volume up.
This is the treehouse.
The treehouse
Okay.
and West Orange.
So yes, but it's all not that far, correct? I mean, it's like within a block of each other or something like that, right?
Yeah, like what a block maybe two.
Okay. All right, so he's heading up towards the treehouse, right? Towards Tom Thumb Fire Department treehouse, right?
Yes, sir. He's headed in that.
Okay.
Judge, if I may, could you ask Mr. Tucker just?
Oh,
to go
I'm
with
so- I-
the
I'm
jurors
so
on the
sorry.
end Could have a clear
And-
view of the video.
And if you may, if you like, a closer look. And, let's see, I need to say how far we would have to go. Daniel, could you remind me what timestamp the next one is?
I don't have these timestamps for this video.
Okay, no problem. Thank you. I'm just trying to. I would like to say it's 23. So. Yeah, it's like 18. Like, actually, it's getting ready to turn 23 now. Just might as well play it.
Too sexy for my shirt. Too sexy for my shirt. James. Too sexy for my shirt. Too sexy for my shirt. I like it, James. It's gonna be stuck in my head now.
Now, maybe while we're waiting, you could. Yeah, I can. Okay, this is what we were looking for. Okay, wait. Let's wait till they get in the light before we pause it. Okay, could you please pause it right here? Okay, now, do you know who the two individuals in this video are?
The one is John Travis Johnson.
Okay, and
The other one, I'm not certain.
has anybody admitted to being the person in this video during your investigation?
Objection calls for hearsay.
Sustain the objection.
Nice, sustain the objection.
Going based on the investigation, whether or not she knows who that person is, not just what's in the video.
Same objection.
Well,
Okay.
it's a different question. I'll allow that question.
Oh, there you go.
Ms. Malone, I'm sorry. Based on your entire investigation, right? You investigated the treehouse case from when until when?
From that day until sometime in 2019.
2019, okay. So you were, so at 2017 is when it happened.
No,
So
he seems to be
2019
getting more
is when
irritated.
You finished, or you were with, you haven't worked the case since then, correct? Okay, good. All right, so during the investigation, did you guys ever identify who's in this video?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay, all right, we'll go ahead and leave it at that. But you do know it's John Travis Johnson, correct? Or at least that you believe it.
I believe it was him.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, can we go ahead and queue up?
So yeah, this guy, I mean, he seems to be losing patience every once in a while, which, I mean, okay, he's not a lawyer, but I have to agree with James, like only a fool
Re-queue up the video, the last video.
acts as his own lawyer. I just expected it to be more Daryl Brooks-ish.
The one that was admitted this morning.
Yeah, yes, I'm sorry, yes, Your Honor. Okay, and if we could go, I don't know if you remember the timestamp, when the truck comes up and they get out.
23?
Okay.
1943? Or, no, 1943. Sorry, I'm dyslexic.
I just wanted to clarify a few things, just to make sure.
He explains himself all the time, which is a little odd. They must have to sign something saying that they could never say that they had insufficient counsel. They must have to sign something. Yeah, Brooks he is pretty messed up, that one. Yeah. When she had him like basically tied down or strapped down to a chair and brought him into court, I couldn't freaking believe it. It was like, what? What?
All right, then. Thank you. Okay, so in this video, we see a truck, right? I would agree it's a truck. I think even the state said it's a truck, right? Okay. You know this is John Travis Johnson's truck because he told you it's his truck, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, just making sure.
There's the truck. Oh, you can't see if it's parked or not. I thought for some reason that must be the front of the boat I was. Oh my God, that guy, hey. Oh my word. Yeah, just well, he entertaining AF is about all I can say about that, but not in the best possible way.
Just to be clear, the jury's not having any hard time seeing this. Okay, just want to make sure.
Well, tell me if you are having any difficulty seeing. You can't
Okay,
see it.
should we move this
Okay.
up closer, Your Honor?
Excuse me?
Should we move the screen a little closer to the jury?
We're able to, you know.
He's a player, this guy. I tell you what.
To help you see better.
That's about as good as it's going to get, and I do want to, remind the jurors, just like all other evidence that's introduced during the course of the trial, it will be available for your deliberations. So merely because it's being published now isn't your only view of it. So during your deliberations, you'll have the ability to view, like I said, this evidence as well as all the other evidence that's introduced during the whole trial. Yes, sir.
Is there any way you can enhance it, make it larger or?
Sir,
I'll get a little bit
answer,
bigger.
I'm sorry, Mr. Tucker.
I'm sorry.
please. That answer is
Oh, what just happened there? What did we miss? What did he say? Hang on. I have to go back, guys. I want to know what just happened there. Okay. Oh, okay.
To help you see better.
That's about as good as it's going to get, and I do want to, remind the jurors, just like all other evidence that's introduced during the course of the trial, it will be available for your deliberations. So merely because it's being published now isn't your only view of it. So during your deliberations, you'll have the ability to view, like I said, this evidence as well as all the other evidence that's introduced during the whole trial. Yes, sir.
Is there any way you can enhance it, make it larger or more?
Sir,
I'll get a little bit
I'm
bigger.
sorry, Mr. Tucker,
sorry.
please, that answer is.
Oh, I don't know what he said. Can you guys make that out? What did he say? Something happened.
Okay. And can we go ahead and full screen it for him so it's easier to see? Oh, is it? Okay. All right. Go ahead and just play from there.
I just don't know what I'm thinking here. Did he just catch crap? Like, I think he did. And I don't know what he said. So did this guy have some kind of response that the judge didn't like? Franklin, Tyrone, Tucker being
Yes, Chuck
yeah,
Parks.
it all rhymes.
Now, again, so there's two subjects that come out of the car, right? This is, apparent because we can't see it, but apparently they came out of the truck. Okay. Okay, could you please pause it right here? Okay, we see two subjects. I would assume, I'm hoping the jury can see this. Again, is that what you describe as two subjects?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And could you describe who those two subjects were based on what you see right here?
It would be Mr. Wilson and Mr. Tucker,
Okay, and how would you know that?
based on everything I know.
But not what's in the video. I'm asking you to
Gotta
testify.
let her finish her answer,
Sorry.
please. Wait, did you finish your answer?
I know that it's them two people based on all the evidence that I knew at the time when I wrote my arrest affidavit.
And to be clear, did you write your arrest affidavit after seeing this video or before seeing this video? I'm
After seeing this video.
okay. And you know that it's those two subjects based on not what's in the video. I'm asking you to testify exactly what's on the video right now, not what you learned from your investigation,
going
what
on?
you see in the video.
Two subjects walking to the trails.
Exactly. Okay, just making sure. Two subjects walking towards the treehouse, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You can go ahead and take this video off.
Ah.
Go to the next one in this series, if you would.
I think that's.
No, I'm sorry. That would be the other one. I'm looking for the second Cosmos videos, please.
He was doing not too bad for a while there, I thought, but yeah.
Could we get the flash drive that was with the videos that
I
just submitted?
The guy's got a tude,
Yes,
absolutely.
it's just that the series started with this video and then.
Finished with number 7.
Yes, I'm finished with all the videos on this one.
Okay, so we can exchange number 7 for number 8.
Doo-doo-doo. I know where he's going with this. I mean,
See this, is this the one where we see the subject that's running with the flashlight up the hill? Is that,
okay, no one
is that
pays
this
attention
video?
to what that person. Did you guys see that person just walk by? So there's that. Well, hello there.
This one, and if we need to, we'll go to the other. Okay, it's coming down the hill. I see. Okay, so according to your investigation, who was that subject running down the hill?
Mr. Tyrone.
Okay, just making sure. So that's according to the investigation. But again, just to clarify, can you see that that's Todd O'Quinn in this video?
No.
Okay, just making sure. Okay. But that's based on your investigation. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, if I remember correctly.
Okay, didn't someone else
Another
just walk by
subject
there
now.
too? So it looks like it's
Correctly, if you would refresh my memory.
and another one.
Okay, again, can we pause for a second? Okay, who's this? Who do you suspect, based on your investigation, that is?
I believe that is Roosevelt, Washington.
Okay, you believe that's Roosevelt, Washington. Okay, but from the video, again, you can't see that that's Roosevelt, Washington, right? Okay, just want to say, okay, clarify those two things. Okay, and is there anything else of evidentiary value on this that you remember?
There's the last part where the subject is leaving the treehouse and he's kind of lumbering.
Okay, let's go ahead and we'll let it go to that point. I don't know offhand.
I'd be curious how many people are just wandering about in there. It's a suspect. It is.
And to clarify, Ms. Malone, you're reading from the official affidavit that you wrote, correct? Okay.
See those
There's
people?
a person that just ran up the hill. Could we please back it up a little bit?
There's 2 people there. I saw. I don't know if they were together, but
Okay, there's somebody right there at the top. Oh, there, right
yeah,
there. See somebody who came running up the hill?
2 of them.
Pause that, please. Again, according to your investigation, who do you believe that is?
That one, I'm not sure who that was.
So it's an unknown party, and they
Oh.
could, again, even though we've accepted that, these people are running from the treehouse, you can't actually see that, correct?
What, the treehouse?
Yeah, the treehouse proper, the property.
No, you can see kind of where the fence is here.
Right, but you can't see the gate where people go in and out or anything like that. Okay, just checking. And so you don't know who this subject is, though, but we're going to assume that they came from the treehouse too, correct?
Probably, yes.
Okay. And I think she believes there's another one on here, if I remember correctly. Okay. Go ahead.
10 seconds.
Thank you.
Oh my God, you're funny.
Okay, right there, if you would. Okay, could you back up just a little bit?
Oh, you cracked me up.
Best view that we can give them. Right there, pause. Okay, so we can kind of see the top of the head here, correct? Okay, and we both, everybody, we both agree that that's a subject walking away from the treehouse location, right?
Yes, sir.
Where, not necessarily from the treehouse, but from that location. Okay, again, so this subject, according to your investigation, again, who's this subject?
That subject is Rory.
Rory Wilson, okay. And again, but you can't see that that's Rory Wilson, right? Is there anything in this video where you can actually see that's Rory Wilson in this video?
His body shape, barrel-chested.
Okay, it's a big man, but there's a lot of big men out there. Can
Right?
you see that that's Rory Wilson? Again, not based on your investigation, just the video. Just from the video, not from your investigation. I'm saying, looking at this video right now, you can tell me based on this picture that that's Rory Wilson. No, okay, that's all we need. No, just no, okay. And then, but based on your investigation, you're thinking that might be Rory Wilson.
I know.
Okay, gotcha. Just checking. Okay, we can go ahead and go to the
James.
next in the Cosme's videos. Yeah, that would be the second one. Yeah. I think that would be it. Okay.
Hey, Pam. Good to see you. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you.
You guys are characters. Do you think so? Brooks was pretty bad. Welcome. I thought that octopus looking thing was part of the video this whole time, and it's in the court. Just behind the boat, on the bottom of the boat, like the trailer. That there, Mixon? Yeah, I can't figure it out, Dandy. Not a clue.
Oh, this is back to the first video. I'm sorry.
Did he,
I'm
James?
looking at it, I'm like, something should happen. Okay, so we're back to the first video. Again,
I've only watched
I keep on
bits and
referring to
pieces
the
of that
second
trial.
video.
The guy, I mean, he
As
was
well as
entertaining and irritating, balled into
you can bring
one.
up the ones that they actually put up today. We'll go ahead and take one from there. This is the one that was introduced yesterday. Oh, it's the same video, it's just different on this one. Okay, all right. And so we have that one. We saw the one where, again, you believe it's Rory Wilson. Is there anybody else that's seen coming from that direction on those videos?
In that manner?
Or just in any manner? Now, again, different subjects coming to and from the treehouse.
So that's what it looks like
Or at
to
least
me,
the treehouse
Maxie,
location, the same direction.
because there's people walking all over the place, right? Off and on.
Okay.
There's the gentleman with the flashlight.
Let's just get down to the point. This will be better for everybody, I think, at this point. I'm sure we're all sick of watching these videos. Okay. In those videos,
I can't walk.
Sustain the objections, disregard the commentary.
okay. Sorry, Your Honor. Apologize. Prosecution. Okay. We looked at
Yeah,
these
I
videos.
didn't see a lot of
These
it, I
videos,
have to admit.
Just taking these videos.
It's
as
just,
a video,
he was like,
I'm
wow.
right now to clarify, you cannot identify a single person in those videos, can you? Erasing your knowledge, erase the investigation. Just be the juror. What can you see in these videos?
Subjects going to and moving the treehouse.
Okay. The area, the location. Right. I'm just clarifying, correct?
Yes.
Talking about the location. Okay. But you can't identify a single person in those videos. Correct?
Absent all knowledge of everything.
Absent your knowledge.
Yes, you can't see faces in the videos.
Okay, good. That's all I wanted to clarify. Okay, if you would, we can go ahead and we'll be done with the videos for right now. I am going to have to clarify something with the state or qualify something with the state later. If you would, thank you.
Yeah, that's a good question. He's getting a lot of liberties. He's walking around the microphone.
I'm not going to read them, but I'm going to ask a question.
Yeah,
If I have to.
that's exactly what he's been doing. I think he was just trying to point out that they couldn't be identified
Daniel,
based on the video
Miss Malone,
alone.
I'm sorry.
And yeah, kind of painful to watch, wasn't it?
Ms. Malone. Now, you just told me that you agree. There's nothing, you can't identify a single person in that video, right?
Speak up.
I
Ask
agree,
and
Matt.
answer, Judge objection.
Okay.
I'm going to sustain it.
Okay.
That's established.
Okay, good. I'm just making sure we have that established. Okay, but when you wrote your affidavit, you did put that it timestamped this, timestamp that, you could see exact people, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and those two, the people, I'm sorry, the people that you attributed it to in your affidavit, who would those be?
The subjects that I named as getting
Yes.
out of the truck,
Okay, yes.
that would be Rory Wilson and Franklin Tucker.
Okay, Rory Wilson and Tyrone Tucker, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. And you said that your investigation led you to write that in the affidavit, but to put those timestamps in there saying that you could see those people in that video, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, what was your investigation prior to obtaining these videos?
It's just not a great idea ever
I would have
to
to look at an exact timeline, but I believe that was day 5.
defend yourself.
Day 5 in the investigation.
Yes, sir.
Right. Okay, day 5 in the investigation, what evidence did you have saying that I took part in this crime?
The confession of John Travis Johnson, the
Okay.
getaway driver.
Okay, and what tells you
getaway
he's the
driver.
getaway driver?
He told us.
Okay, so you're basing it solely on what he told you.
No,
Okay, what other evidence did you have to suggest that he's the getaway driver?
that he's the getaway, that he told us.
Okay, that he told you. That's
Yes,
it.
sir.
Simply as that. Okay, and was he the one who actually said it first, or did one of the other investigators say it before him?
I don't recall.
Okay, you don't recall. Just making sure. Now, were you actually present when John Travis Johnson was, when he was actually interviewed?
I was present for some of it, not all of it.
Okay. Okay. If I remember correctly, you were present and reviewing videos, if my memory serves right, on when John Travis Johnson originally.
Objection.
I'm sorry. I'll take that back. It's a horribly.
Yeah, that's a good thought, Andy.
Okay. You were there for part of the interviews with him, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you remember reviewing videos with him?
Yes, sir.
Okay. If again, just to verify, were those the same videos that we were just looking at?
Yes, sir.
Because I can't remember any other ones. So, okay. Now, when you're
Oh,
reviewing
my
these videos
Lord.
with John Travis Johnson, does he at one point to the video in the Fuller Keys Electric video, right? Point to the subject in that video and say it's him?
I don't recall.
You don't recall?
No, I don't.
Okay. I'll have to have you queue up another video. Okay. So you don't recall at this point, but you did say that, you just, because of the investigation, you knew that
He's
it was
just
John Travis
saucy,
Johnson in the
isn't
video,
he?
not because you could see him in the video.
Sustain the objection.
Okay.
Point's been made multiple times.
Okay. Okay, good. Okay. In your
Ooh.
affidavit, did you write that you
I
could
told
see
you multiple
at certain
times, he
timestamps doing
said.
different things in the video?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Was it, again, what in your investigation led you to be able to say that?
It was the totality of all the evidence, witness statements, confessions
Okay.
There
that
we
we
go.
had obtained.
May I, again,
Good answer.
specifically,
Judge,
because
I'm gonna object.
I'm,
Ask the question.
okay,
Whoa.
I'd just like to get more
It's
specific.
Mr. Alvarez's witness here, so I think we're gonna have one or the other.
Okay, can we come sidebar?
We can come sidebar.
Oh, sidebar. He's getting he's getting frustrated. Oh, look at that guy. Poor judge. He's like, oh, unreal. So again, I'll remind everybody while they're doing this what the tree house looks like. Ba-da-da-dum. Isn't that something? And then the thieves slash deleters grabbed a purse and started to run. And then all these little markers here, I do believe. Oh, maybe these aren't. There's markers somewhere where everything was dropped, like little morsels of breadcrumbs down the road. You just might yet. He's getting frustrated. Okay. Unreal.
Okay, Danielle, I'm sorry, Miss Malone. Back to the offense report and the affidavit that you wrote, correct? Okay, let's get back to that for a second. Did you ever write in that report that
Maybe he'll end up strapped to a chair eventually
witnesses
with
had
a
made statements
gag in
with
his
my
mouth?
name in them?
Yeah, I do believe so.
Okay, which witnesses used my name? And, when they were telling you the story of whatever they saw, whatever they witnessed, which witnesses actually used my name?
Objection, Your Honor. I'm gonna overrule the objection.
Overruled.
You can answer the question, ma'am.
In Rory Wilson's initial interview with us, he put you in the warehouse planning the robbery by name. John Travis Johnson also said your name.
So both suspects, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, just checking. Okay, so anybody else beyond the suspects?
Not that I recall.
Not that you recall. Okay, good.
Hmm.
Okay, so you were familiar with that. Okay, let's move on a little forward. That same truck that, I can't say it's the same truck. Let me back up. The truck, there's a truck that you searched later on in the investigation. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And when you went to search this truck, what truck was, why were you searching this truck?
It was John Travis Johnson's truck.
Okay, it was John Travis Johnson's truck, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and, okay, how, do you remember, if I remember correctly, you were the one who actually signed for the search warrant on that truck, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you probably know better than I would. How long after John Travis Johnson was arrested was it before you went and searched this vehicle?
I would have to look at the report for exact
Give me an
dates.
approximate.
But he was arrested around November 22nd-ish. And I believe we did the search warrant around December 5th or 6th.
Okay, so how many days is that? Could you add those up for me?
Uh,
Approximately, I would say approximately 15, 20 days, something like that?
Yeah, probably 2 weeks.
Okay, just checking. Okay, so where was the
Just
truck
checking.
in these 15, 20 days before you searched it?
At one point, it was at an address in Big Pine,
Okay,
and then it was moved to Mr. Johnson's boss's house.
Okay, and move by
I
who?
know,
This is after
right?
Travis was arrested, right?
Correct.
Okay, just checking. Okay, but moved by who?
Oh my,
It
my,
was
my.
told by Mr. Johnson's boss.
Okay, over to.
I think
the
so,
owner, his
considering
house, correct?
the
Yeah,
situation.
I think his
Okay, good.
house or lot, yes, sir.
Thank you.
I think she was.
And okay, so after it got towed over to this lot,
I think
did the
now
police-
she has
did they
something to
decide
do with
impound it? I'm sorry, the
911.
sheriff's department, they decide to impound the vehicle or
I
take
could
the
be
vehicle
mistaken.
or secure it somehow?
No, we just conducted a search warrant of the vehicle and
Yeah.
searched the vehicle.
And this is after it had been sitting there for 10, 15, 20 days, whatever.
Yes, sir.
Okay, just check. Okay, and when you went to do the search of the vehicle, was there anybody else with you?
There was quite a few people.
Okay, could you recall any of them off the top of your head?
Detective Underwood was there.
Okay,
Deputy Hoverson was there. I believe retired Sergeant Hernandez was there,
retired sergeant
and Captain Phelps.
and Captain Phelps. Okay, and okay, so did you do a video of this? When you guys searched the vehicle, did you do a video of that at all, or
Yes,
remember?
sir.
I don't know, but we're taking the long route, aren't we?
I'm gonna stop you right there, Mr. Tucker. I think it's time to take a morning break.
That would be
So, members of the jury,
Okay.
we're gonna take a 15
Morning break. We'll just do this. Sorry, guys.
For the
And
court,
we're back.
just for the court to consider, and Mr. Tucker showed us the courtesy of letting us know that he thinks he's got a lot of cross-examination that will take the rest of the day, and that we wouldn't get to any other witnesses. We inquired as to what the nature of that cross was going to be, and he indicated his intent to go into depth on the IA investigations in the case and the findings of whatever findings those are. And our objection is going to be that it's not relevant to the facts in this particular trial or to the evidence that's being presented, and that it's going to contain a lot of hearsay. I mean, the results of those reports and any reading of those reports, that's hearsay. So I don't know if the court wants to address it now or wait until it happens, but.
if I may, Your Honor.
Yeah.
He says reports. The only IA report I plan on using for this cross-examination is an IA report from this case where it was sustained that she mishandled 35 pieces of evidence in this case. And again, these are including videos. So I would consider that highly relevant.
I mean, I guess we'll get to it, but I don't consider it relevant. If there's some showing of a tainted piece of evidence or a chain of custody that's been compromised, but
Absolutely.
it's not, the trial is not about.
Your Honor.
Yes, sir, I am speaking. The trial is not about putting the investigation on trial. It is specifically the facts and circumstances. So as I said, I'll certainly let you make your proffer. When we get to the point where it's,
Absolutely, Dandy.
becomes a subject, we'll deal with it. But my strong inclination is that is not relevant.
Your Honor, if I may.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Again, I don't understand. Maybe it is the layman in me, and maybe you can educate me on this. How that it's the credibility of the investigation that is what is the evidence they're using against me in this trial. How is that not credible if the investigation was not conducted, on any kind of good standard?
It's not the credibility of the investigation. It's the credibility of the evidence. That's what's at issue. But like I said, if you can show that there's been a bit of evidence that's been tainted, if there's been a witness that's been compromised, but to say, oh, this was just an investigation that violated all these standards, no, sir, that's not relevant.
Well, I would imagine that, again, 208 pieces of evidence were mishandled. That was what was sustained in this investigation, including DNA, including video, including physical evidence. And yes, this is evidence that the prosecution is actually putting into evidence in this trial.
Well, I'll look forward to your showing or objection that some evidence is in fact that's being admitted or offered is not authentic, is been compromised, that's fine. But in terms of how the internal affairs may have assessed the investigation, that in and of itself is not relevant as a general proposition. Again, it's not the investigation that's on trial, it's the evidence emanating from that investigation. And so there's specific pieces, I know I'm repeating myself, but there's specific
Oh
pieces
my
of evidence
God.
that,
Here we go.
simply, doesn't withstand the
Oh my
foundational
word.
requirements. I'll be happy to make an appropriate ruling. So that's about as much as I can show.
Okay, I'm trying to navigate this line, Your Honor.
I know you are, and I'm not saying that you're doing anything wrong. And just like any other case, there's disputes, disagreements, and the judge is asked to make a ruling, and I make my best ruling. And like I said, if we get to a specific
I don't know. The judge is giving them a lot of room.
and we need to go outside the jury, we'll do that. If you need to make a proffer, that is a showing of what you would like to have presented absent an adverse ruling, you can do that to preserve the record, but that's how it works. So
Okay.
in any event, with that said, bring in the jury,
This
please.
is why you get a lawyer. But I guess because, I mean, it's legal to do this, that the judge pretty much has no choice but to kind of grab him by the hand and walk him through this, because otherwise he gets thrown out, right? Or so I would think anyways. Exactly. The layman in him doesn't understand. But I will represent myself in an M-trap. Here I am, standing tall. When he gets irritated, look at the look on his face. I don't know, guys. Like, he gets angry. How's he going to deal with it if he gets convicted?
Back on the record, the witness remains on the witness stand under oath, subject to continued cross-examination.
He's got a strut about him.
Hold on. Let's see, I'm not exactly sure where we left off, but let's go ahead and we'll get back to the investigation. All right.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and at this point, at the Cosme videos, at that point in the investigation, how far in were you, again, did you say?
When we got the videos, I believe we were at day 5.
Day 5. Okay, so you got these videos the same day that Travis Johnson was arrested, correct?
I believe so, yes.
And now, prior to that point in the investigation, you're at day 5. What other evidence did you have to say that I was in that video? You said it was based on your investigation, so.
Again, John Travis Johnson's confession.
So John Travis Johnson's word that it's me in that video.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And any other evidence that said I had anything to do with this prior to that video?
Mr. Rory Wilson again stating that you were part of the planning
Okay.
of the robbery of Paula Belmonte.
We'll take a look at that later. So
Right.
at this point, you're taking Travis Johnson's story and Rory Wilson's story, correct? That's your evidence at this point.
In combination with Todd O'Quinn's statement of the way he went up to the CVS
Okay, you can-
yelling for the police, yes.
And Todd O'Quinn's statement, and Todd O'Quinn was who?
One of the people that was in the house with Matthew Bonnet, in the trailer with Matthew Bonnet.
He was in the house in the trailer with Matthew Bonnet. He's the gentleman we saw running up the hill.
Yeah, with the flashlight, yes.
Yes. Okay. So he's that gentleman. That's the man we're talking about.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did that gentleman also say he's 100% sure it wasn't me over and over again?
I don't know. He didn't say that to me.
It was said, okay, and we'll have to pull up that video. Okay, so you're saying that Tyler Quinn never said that you know of that it wasn't me?
Not to me, no, sir.
Okay, go ahead. And now you did do the lineup with
Pull up this
Tyler
video
Quinn,
and I'll pull up
correct?
that video and I'll pull
Yes,
up
sir. I
this
did one of the
video.
lineups.
Okay, and did Tyler Quinn, was I included in that lineup or?
No, sir.
Okay, and who was included in that lineup?
John Travis Johnson.
Okay, did Tyler Quinn ever point to John Travis Johnson's picture in that lineup?
Yes, he did.
Okay, and what did he point to him as in that lineup?
As being the person that,
Yeah, I'm going to sustain the objection.
Okay, what question did they ask when they were doing the lineup? When they asked him to point to a picture and say, and identify anybody, what were they asking him? What were you guys asking him?
Objection hearsay.
Okay,
Sustaining the objection.
okay, fine. Ms. Malone, he points to John Travis Johnson, correct?
Objection.
I'm going to sustain the
Okay.
objection.
Okay.
He's striking out.
Again, we won't be redundant here. Ms. Malone, okay, we've already established that, yes, again, John Travis Johnson's the picture that he pointed to, right?
Objection.
I'll overrule that objection.
I'm just-
Wait, I'm sorry, I'm going to sustain the objection. So.
Sustained again.
Clarification. Okay, anyway, that's an answer. Okay, let's move on then. Okay, so John Travis Johnson, Roy Wilson, that's your evidence suggesting I have anything to do with this at this point.
I sure hope so, Dandy. I really do.
Proceed.
Okay. Now, you said that based on your investigation, that's how you're identifying me in that video, correct?
yes, sir.
Okay. And your investigation was John Travis Johnson. Okay. Anything else besides John Travis and Roy Wilson? I don't believe she answered that question.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, okay. So then we can move on. All right. So.
Yeah, she's being put on the
extent of
spot pretty
investigation
good.
At that point that you know of. Okay. Anything else from the investigation prior
Yep.
to that, as far as
Agreed.
your handling of evidence, your handling of videos? What was your duties in the investigation in those first 5 days?
Well, multiple. We did the first day,
Okay.
that night,
That might be these.
I was directed to go interview the living victim, Paula Lamonte, in the hospital. I stayed with her the entire time she was in the hospital. And then I went with Sergeant Kellenberger and we went and found Roger Ragu at his place of business, the QS Golf Course.
This would be the first night, right?
This is the first night.
Anything else the first night?
Not particularly. I was,
Oh, can we put a pause right there for
Yep.
just a second? I'm so sorry. Okay, so the first night you went to interview Paula Belamonte at the hospital.
yes, sir.
And during that interview,
And
with
she's
Paula
the living
Belamonte,
witness.
did she tell you anybody who she thought, any suspects, any identifiers?
Objection hearsay.
Sustain.
Okay. Say that it was me.
Same objection.
He keeps getting himself in trouble.
Okay, it's because she's the one who completed the interview. Got it. Okay. Okay. All right. So again, you did that. Then you went and you did another interview. What did you do after that?
We canvassed the area, that street, Laurel Avenue.
Okay.
I believe when I went home that night was about 4 or 5 a.m. the next morning.
Okay. And then you came back the next morning and
Next morning, I don't remember what time, but it wasn't late. It was before noon, I believe.
He's
We came
just,
back
she's a
to the
cop and
scene.
look at, like, he's
Uh,
just,
And I believe it was that day, the next day, that Key West CSI finished
what
up
not to do.
with the actual scene.
So it's the second day.
Yes, the second day.
And you came at around noon, you said?
I don't remember the exact time.
Now it was,
She does
you
look
did come back on the
so
second day.
uncomfortable.
Were you at the treehouse or were you canvassing someplace else? What were you doing again?
I was at the treehouse. I walked almost all of Stock Island
Oh, yeah. I can believe it. Okay.
that day looking for,
Okay. So, you know, you guys were just looking for evidence around
Yeah.
the neighborhood, that kind of
Yes,
stuff.
sir.
Okay, gotcha. All right. Were you there for Detective Pitcher's interview of Todd O'Quinn?
that the
At the
initial night.
treehouse, you know, at the treehouse location.
I know. It's like, what?
The first night I was there for,
Oh, okay.
I believe, a very small portion of it.
Oh, Todd O'Quinn's interview?
Yeah, the initial one that night. Yes.
Oh, thank you. I wasn't aware of that. Okay, the second, I was talking about the second interview during the daytime. He did it at the treehouse, and I would assume you would have been there just because, you know, it's about the same time.
I don't recall being there for that interview.
I just didn't know.
I put like 8 miles on my shoes that second day walking
Right, so you
Stock
weren't-
Island.
Oh, I'm sorry. So you weren't there.
No, sir.
Okay. Now, were you there when they brought Miss Paula Bellamante to the treehouse that day?
The second day?
Second day.
No, I brought her to the treehouse that night when she got released from the hospital,
And,
but not the second day.
and why'd you bring her back to the treehouse that night?
They wanted to get, I believe, fingernail scrapings.
You know, so- Okay, but you didn't bring her back the second day.
No,
Okay, and you weren't present when they did.
no.
Okay, good. All right, and
Pretty
were you
specific.
there when Miss Anathea Clay was there
Maybe.
on the second day?
No, not on the second day. Maybe that initial night.
Oh, the first night. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first night you were there when they brought Anathea Clay to the crime scene.
I don't know. I wasn't there when they brought her to the crime scene, but she may have been around
Okay.
that night.
Okay, and according to your offense report, your affidavit, who is Miss Anathea Clay?
Anathea Clay was, I guess, a roommate at some point with Paula and Matthew Bonnet.
Mhm.
I'm not certain where she stayed on the property, but she stayed there at some point and
Where do you have a roommate?
had just left like very recently
Okay, and
for that incident.
okay, but in the
Okay,
affidavit
then.
you wrote, was she ever named as a suspect?
Yes, Paula stated that she believed Anathea Clay had something to do with setting up the robbery.
Was Paula the only one?
That's
Just asking what she wrote in her report.
I'll overrule the objection.
that told
I
me
couldn't even imagine.
that she's the only one I remember.
Okay, I'm referring back to your affidavit again. I remember we were talking about your affidavit earlier.
Mhm.
I'm referring back to your affidavit. In your affidavit, in your statement, you know, about the investigation, did you say that, you know, somebody else besides that actually named her as a suspect?
I don't recall.
We'll have to take a look at the affidavit again. Okay, so you've got Anathea Clay, you saw her the first night, correct?
I think I may have seen her.
Okay, good. And on that first night, okay, you said Paula named her as a suspect, correct?
Yes,
Okay, and they brought her to the crime scene that night. You were there for that.
no, I believe I was with Paula still.
I thought you said, I'm a little off. Okay, maybe it's just me. But okay, so they brought her back down there, and, you know, again, did you see her leave?
He's
when she
badgering
left the
her.
crime scene?
No,
Okay. Do you know where she came from before she got to the crime scene?
no, sir.
Okay. But they didn't arrest Anathea Clay.
No, sir.
Okay, just check. All right, so they didn't arrest her. Did they ever bring her back in for an interview that you know of?
I wasn't a part of it, but yes,
Yeah.
I do believe they interviewed her at some point.
Okay. They interviewed her at some point. Do you remember approximately what?
Unreal.
I mean, probably a year or so after,
Year or so,
afterwards.
year or so afterwards?
Yes, sir.
After what? Oh, after the crime happened?
After the crime happened,
Okay.
yeah, 2019-ish.
Okay, so after the crime happened. And, you know, and
I
she
agree.
can't recall if she was named a suspect in your affidavit.
Objection's been asked and answered.
I'll overrule the objection.
I wrote in my affidavit that Paula stated that Anathea Clay had set up the robbery.
Were there any CIs that they talked to in the affidavit?
Yes,
Confidential informants?
yes,
Okay, and did this confidential informant say that Anathea Clay was a suspect?
Objection, hearsay.
If it's in the affidavit, I'll overrule it, if that's what you're asking about.
That's exactly what I'm at.
I believe I wrote that in my affidavit. I'd have to
So that would be a
Look at it
second
to-
person. that said she-
refresh.
I'm sorry.
I'd have to look at it to refresh. It's,
Okay, and we may very well do that. That might be a good idea.
okay.
If we could refresh the witnesses, would that be fine, Your Honor?
No.
Haven't quite asked the proper question, but in any event, we're looking at the report, refresh your recollection.
Yes, sir.
You have your report? there?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yeah, the judge is being very patient. She's flushed.
Let us know when you've reviewed it and your recollection has been refreshed, and close it up. And here's your recollection.
Yes, sir.
refreshed.
Ma'am,
Question.
ma'am, now we've refreshed you.
Now he's interrupting the judge.
It says the same thing.
Yes, the
Okay.
CI
Oh,
stated
no.
that Paula had set up Anathea Clay
Welcome back.
and didn't return it. And it sounded like it was a drug deal that money didn't get exchanged. So in return, Anathea set up the robbery as payback.
Okay, so that's what's in the.
Oh, okay.
Anathea Clay was setting this up as payback for something that Paul had done to her, allegedly.
Yes, sir.
All right, and that's in the arrest affidavit. So that's definitely naming her as a suspect, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, again, you just told me a second ago that they interviewed Anathea Clay, but it wasn't until way after, correct?
Yes, sir. I believe so.
Year and a half, 2 years, something like that? Is that, I'm not sure if I heard correctly. I just want to make sure.
Yeah, I believe it was sometime in 2019.
So 2019 from a crime that happened in 2017.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And
Next
anybody,
scene.
that you know of, I mean, did they try to apprehend Miss Clay? I mean, was there a warrant out for her arrest? I mean, she's a suspect.
No,
Okay. So to your knowledge, nobody ever put out a warrant for her.
no.
Okay. And did they ever do
Like
any
I just got.
work trying to find Miss Clay?
Okay.
I mean, did they, what attempts were made to find this murder suspect?
We never got to the point to classify her as a murder suspect, and I am unfamiliar with what attempts were made. That wasn't in my scope of the investigation to locate her.
Well, I mean, don't get me wrong. If I remember right, your scope in the investigation, you're right below the lead detective, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And it wouldn't be in the scope of your investigation to know where a murder suspect is.
Again, Anathea Clay never became a murder suspect during the course of our investigation.
Well, didn't you just tell me you had a witness that literally stated that, she set this crime up as payback?
I'm going to overrule the objection.
Well,
Yes, we had two people that told us that Miss Clay had potentially set up this robbery to occur.
oh, where'd the volume go?
Oops, I'm sorry. Did you ever make any attempts to interview her? Bring her in for an interview or to talk to her?
I did not. That was not part of my job in this investigation.
Okay, do you know of anybody, and, besides yourself who may have done this?
The river monster.
Okay, so to your knowledge, they don't interview her, pick her up or interview her until 2019.
I know that's when she got interviewed.
Okay. And did they arrest her after the interview?
No, sir.
Okay, and was the evidence still the same, or did it change, or is there a reason why she wasn't arrested?
Because she never rose to the level of a murder suspect in this investigation.
Two witnesses
answer.
saying that she was?
Objection argumentative.
I'll sustain the objection.
Okay. Now, did you know, I want to know a little bit more about the sanity of Clay thing, just a little bit. Okay, it's Treehouse, was Miss, I think I asked you if you were there, if Miss Clay, when she was brought back to the Treehouse on the second day. You said no, correct?
Correct.
Okay, good. Okay, so you weren't there for this, but did they find any evidence that you know of from Miss Clay at the Treehouse on the second day that you know of?
Not that I know of.
Okay. Were you ever made aware of writings on a wall that were on the Treehouse wall?
Yeah, in like 2019, I believe.
You were made aware of those in 2019.
Yes.
Okay, so you didn't know anything about those until then.
Correct.
Okay, good.
Correct.
And what were these writings on the wall purported to be?
Honestly, I don't
Remember
know.
what they were?
No,
Okay.
sir.
And do you remember what evidentiary value they had?
No, sir.
Okay, so I don't know, you said you saw pictures, is that correct?
I may have seen a picture, but not that I recall. It was like spray paint words on a wall.
Okay, but you don't
Graffiti?
know who wrote them, and you don't know.
No, sir.
Okay, were you there for when they interviewed Miss Sanity Clay?
I was not.
So that would have been who interviewed her? Just out of fresh in my memory.
I believe that was Captain Phelps, Detective Corey, and maybe Detective Moeller.
Okay. All right. So, that would be Detective Mueller, Detective Corey, and Captain Phelps.
Yes, sir.
All right. And, okay. Again, we back to the beginning of the investigation again. So the first night you said you took care of Paula. And then the next night, and then after that, it was Roger Roget, right? And you interviewed him. Okay. So what did you do on the second day besides canvas? Anything?
I believe that was it.
Just canvassing for evidence, and you didn't find any?
No, I didn't.
Okay, what evidence were you there?
Welcome to the funny
what
part.
evidence were you there for when it was gathered?
I believe it was the second day they found a mask and a boat.
Okay, but you didn't collect it, somebody else did. Who was it that collected that evidence? Do you remember?
I don't know. I wasn't there when they found it. I just was told they found it.
Okay, so you're told they found it. Oh, you didn't actually see it.
I saw it
Oh, okay. you
as
saw
we
it.
were waiting for the crime scene detective, whichever one it was, come and get it.
Okay, so I'm come and bag it and tag it, right?
Yep.
Okay, gotcha. All right, so, but you never
Bag
found
it
any
and
evidence
tag
on
it.
the second day.
No, sir.
Okay, what'd you do on the third day?
I believe more walking and canvassing Stock Island.
Do you remember knocking on any doors? I mean, do you remember what neighborhood you were canvassing in, where you were?
We were walking.
They
good
were
majority of
wonking.
the time was in Water's Edge Trailer Park. That's not there anymore, but it was just down the street from where the treehouse was.
Okay.
In that area, and then focusing on 2nd Street that goes past Tom Thumb, the fire station, Florida Keys Electric, and then the warehouse.
Okay.
In that area.
So just that little part of the neighborhood in Stock Island.
Yes, that general area.
You just kind of reminded me something about the Florida Keys Electric video. That was, for the record, was that the video that I had you replay up there? The one with, we were talking about Travis Johnson, that stuff.
Yes, I believe that was the Florida Keys Electric video.
Okay, just want to make sure. And how much time of the video did they give? How much time did you guys collect? Do you remember?
I don't
on that
know.
video?
I don't know.
You don't remember? Okay, yeah, you weren't the one who collected that. I forgot. But Do you know of any more than the 7, I think it's 7 minutes, I think I want to say, but whatever that video is in length, did you guys ever get any more from Florida Keys Electric that you know of?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay, so not to your knowledge. Okay, so we're back to, okay, you're canvassing the neighborhood and you're going through all the different locations, you know, that are close to there, I guess. Was it the Tom Thumb
Ooh, there's
Fire
some good
Department,
stuff
the
coming up,
377 Waters
guys.
Edge Trailer Park? Okay, so you didn't find anything in those areas, is what you told us. You know, this would be the third day, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
If I don't
So on the
understand
third
it,
day, nothing there. What'd you do on the fourth day?
The fourth day, I believe I spent a good majority of the time watching surveillance videos.
Okay, watching videos. And what were the surveillance videos? Did you collect them yourself, or did somebody bring them to you, or?
Most of them were brought to us by different detectives.
All right, you know, it's different detectives bringing them in from different places, right? You know, like the CVS or whatever, right?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Okay, gotcha. But you're reviewing them, checking them out to see what you find.
Yes,
right?
sir.
Okay, gotcha. And okay, so while you're doing this, these surveillance videos, again, you know, which places were you actually reviewing? You know, was it which videos?
It was mainly CVS's.
The CVS's videos?
Yes.
Okay, and did you collect all the tapes from CVS, or did they give you all the tapes from CVS?
I believe so. There's hours upon hours.
I seem to remember the same thing.
Okay, yes.
Okay, now, but you believe they gave you all the video footage they had from CVS?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and there weren't any cameras broken? There weren't any cameras that were malfunctioning or anything like that?
Not that I recall.
Okay, good. And did you find anything in the CVS videos that you were reviewing?
No, sir.
Okay, so they weren't really of evidentiary value, is that what you're saying?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any other videos besides CVS?
At that time, no, I don't believe so. I believe it was
Just,
mainly the CVS videos.
okay. So just the CVS videos, this would be, what, the fourth day? Fourth day?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, the fourth day.
So what'd you do on the fifth day?
The fifth day, I believe, is the day that I assisted with the photo lineup
Okay.
with Tyrone Quinn. We also got the Cosme video
Okay.
on the fifth day.
Okay, do you remember when you got the video?
I do not.
I don't remember if it was in the morning or the afternoon.
I believe it was late. I
Okay,
believe it was
more in the evening.
more in the evening.
Okay, so more than, and okay, now let's see, 17th, and I said we're on day 5, correct?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay, so that would be 17th to the 18th, 19th, 20th, and then 21st. Okay, what did you do on the 21st?
The 21st.
Oh, actually, that would be the 5th day, would be the 21st.
I'm just
Um,
checking something,
now,
guys.
Again, you just said that you were reviewing videos. Did you do anything else that day?
Not that I recall.
Did you guys perhaps conduct a no-knock raid on the warehouse on the 21st?
Yeah, that might have been the 21st.
Okay, was Mr. Wilson taken into custody on the 21st?
I would have to refresh my memory as to the exact date that happened.
Did they? Okay, you were, if I remember correctly, you were there. So when I brought in to the station on the 21st, was I brought in handcuffs?
Yes, I do believe so, sir.
Okay, and now did you at one time say I was free to go?
I don't know if I said it, but somebody did.
Okay, and but I'm in handcuffs, right?
I don't recall.
Okay. Anyway, so I'm brought in on the 21st. We established that because that was the night of the no-knock raid. Now, the no-knock raid, you took myself and Rory Wilson down to the headquarters, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, not you personally, somebody else drove me. Okay, and this is where you did the initial interviews with the suspects, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and
Okay.
you know, like I said,
I had to look at
at some
something.
point,
I misunderstood.
because I actually remember we did the interviews together somewhat. But okay, in the interview process, was I taken out of the interview room and taken downstairs and put in a squad car, still in handcuffs,
You were placed back into handcuffs.
and put down in a squad car, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and how long was I down there?
Oh, I remember that
Don't know
so
offhand.
well.
What
Like
the
it was
purpose of putting me down
yesterday.
I believe so we can interview Rory.
there? Okay. Now, was I still free to go at any time?
Yeah, I've seen her every once in a while. She gets
At
so
that time,
flushed.
I don't
I don't
know.
blame
I
her.
would say no,
It's
you
like,
were in handcuffs in
what?
the back of a police car.
Okay, and was I in
Suspect.
handcuffs in back of a police car when I left the warehouse to come back? Or when I entered this, I should say, because you were at the station, when I entered the station, did I enter in handcuffs?
I don't recall.
Okay, this would be right after that. Okay, so were you at the raid itself?
I was.
Okay, and did you initiate the search warrant for that raid?
Did I write the search warrant?
Did you go and seek the search warrant?
Yes.
Okay, and you're the one who got the search warrant for it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and what did you write the search warrant for specifically?
For any and all evidence that could be found at whatever the warehouse's exact address on Second Street.
The address of well, the warehouse is a big place.
Yes, sir.
So was it the address? for
Yeah,
the
she's
entire warehouse, or
absolutely
was it just
flushed.
that one spot?
How
That was the address for the
uncomfortable.
warehouse, but I do believe I specified the living areas where Rory Wilson
Okay.
was at.
Okay, so Rory Wilson's apartment.
Yes.
Okay, was Rory Wilson's apartment attached to the upstairs of the warehouse?
Wow, he's been going at her for a while.
Honestly, it's
Holy.
all attached.
I mean, was it considered the same spot? I mean, like, okay, a lot of apartments and apartment buildings are attached, but that doesn't mean they're the same apartment. Was it the same spot as far as, was it the same apartment, or was it a different apartment upstairs?
To my knowledge, it was the same apartment
And, okay, what led you to believe that?
because I didn't know anything else about the warehouse other than it was sectioned off into apartments.
Okay, and how long were you at the warehouse when that night? I don't know, so I'd like to ask.
Maybe 20 minutes.
20 minutes, and when was this, when they first came in?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and so were you there at the front door, or were you at the back?
I was at the front door.
Okay, and the front door, and now the front door is the one they took me out of, correct?
Like he's
I
just
don't know.
Okay, because
picking this into like little
Okay.
micro
but here's
bits.
the thing, it's okay. So you were at the front door, but you weren't close enough to see whether or not I was the one that they pulled from upstairs.
Correct. I was there at the front to set the perimeter around so where I was at when they executed the search warrant was all the way out at the street.
Okay.
Watching the street and kind of the sides of the very large building of
Good,
the
yeah.
warehouse.
You just explain to the jury, the whole idea of the perimeter, what you're doing with the perimeter when you did that.
Yes, sir.
I mean, explain to them what you're doing when you're doing that. What are you doing when you're setting the perimeter? Why did you do it?
In case somebody, when we executed the search warrant, in case somebody fled out of the building, we would be out far enough to be able to detain them, apprehend them, find out who they are.
So back to that. So the idea from the beginning was to detain me, right? To detain me, not just Rory Wilson, but to detain me.
I know, James.
I didn't know who you were, sir.
Okay, so you didn't know who I was at that point.
No, sir.
Okay. Okay, you don't know, but you know who I was after I got to the station, correct?
Mhm.
So when I get to the station, where do I go from there? Do you remember?
After we were done with the interviews,
After they brought me into the station, what'd you guys do with me?
interviewed you.
I'm going to object on a relevance basis.
Oh, I'm going to overrule the objection.
Thank you. Ms. Malone, what did you guys, I'm in handcuffs. Coming into the station, what did you're there, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and who else was there? Do you remember?
Detective Pitcher was there.
Okay. And anybody else?
Probably Captain.
I don't know why the
That
volume
would've been
kicks
there.
in and out.
So who brought me in? Who brought me in? Where they put me? It wasn't you, correct?
It was not me.
Okay, so it wasn't me. When's the first time?
So where is he going with all this stuff? She's been on the stand for quite a while, and it's just going in circles. Where is he going with all of this? And is he going to do this with everybody? No.
You met me
In the interview room.
in the interview room. Okay, so we're in the interview room. You just brought me in. You know, I would assume your intentions were to question me, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, did you guys ask me a bunch of questions?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and at the end of those questions, did they let me go, you know, from, you know, did they allow me to leave the station?
Yes, after the interview, you were free to leave and you left.
Okay, and so is it safe to assume that there wasn't, in your opinion or in, you know, the lead detective's opinion, whoever's making the decision, it wasn't enough to arrest me?
Correct.
Okay, and okay, so afterwards, you know, we you know, I'm obviously free. I get arrested the same, was it the night of the 22nd? Because I was in, I remember that 21st went to the 22nd. But okay, that night, what changed in between the 21st and the 22nd when I get arrested?
During your interview and Rory Wilson's interview, you both put yourselves with John Travis Johnson.
Well, it's, yeah, we might have to watch that too. But okay, so the thing.
Oh my God.
We'll sustain the objection. Again, there's no commentary allowed.
I'll watch myself here on. Okay, Miss Malone, you said that, you know, I was brought in because of that. What I'm saying is our interviews were done on the 21st, right? Rory Wilson's and mine, the ones that you just said that we you know, we used John Travis Johnson as an alibi or whatever, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And I was let go after that, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, but you're saying I was arrested for those same two interviews. So why wasn't I arrested at that point?
Because we had not interviewed John Travis Johnson yet.
Okay, so it was John Travis Johnson's interview that got me arrested.
That was the final, to put it all together, everything that we knew. Yes, sir.
Okay. Now don't get me wrong, you know, Rory Wilson allegedly testified that, you know, or made statements about me. You know, it's not a, you know, again, it's alleged that it's Rory Wilson allegedly made statements about me, correct?
Yes, he stated that you were there during the planning of the
I
robbery.
was asking whether or not he made statements. I didn't ask what he said.
Sorry. Yes.
Oh.
Now, okay, so that is what you're alleging.
Oh.
And okay, John Travis Johnson allegedly made statements against me, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and those are the two things. Anything else in this investigation? So far, we're up to day 5 when I get arrested. Anything else in this investigation saying that, you know, saying I had something to do with this?
The Cosme video.
And the Cosme video, you just said not too long ago, correct me if I'm wrong, that Cosme video, you can't tell who's in the video, that you decided who's in the video based on the investigation.
Correct.
Okay, and your investigation was Rory Wilson and John Travis Johnson at this point, right?
Correct.
So you're saying that their word tells you that I'm the guy in the video.
Correct.
Okay, and even though you can't see me, you can't see me in the video. So it's just them saying it's me, that's good enough, right?
I don't understand. I'm sorry.
Okay, maybe I should clarify myself just a little bit. I guess I'm a little nervous or whatever. But here's the thing. Video, when we were watching the video, we established that, yes, you could not see anybody in that video, right?
I could see people, body shapes,
Body
body
shape.
made,
But not make an identification.
not faces. No, sir.
Right, no faces. Okay, and now you just testified that the only investigation that you knew of me, right, was from Rory and Travis.
And the Cosme video.
Well, again, this is what we're talking about, this Cosme video. Cosme video, you said you can't identify anybody in it, right? So, okay, if you can't identify anybody in it, I'm asking how that is evidence against me at that point.
Yes, this is argumentative. It's been asked and answered.
Okay.
Let's move on.
Okay, well, we'll move on. Okay, so I get arrested. right?
Damn straight.
Do you remember were you there when they arrested me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and, you know, they took me, if I remember correctly, took me over to the jail, and You know, would that be, no, I'm sorry. I'm trying to,
Sustain the objection. It's his testimonial, so you can
Okay.
certainly ask questions.
Okay.
Not testify.
did you see me again after I went to jail?
When I got the buccal swab.
Vocal swab. Now, you'll have to refresh my memory because I don't remember you taking a vocal swab from me, but did you, could you please tell me what day that was?
I would have to look at
Now,
the
did you,
property receipt to refresh my memory as to what day it was.
okay, I'd be perfectly happy to let you do that because I honestly don't remember. And I don't remember if you did do one on me. So the thing is, do you remember, again, you put it into evidence, correct?
You're
Is there any
making
other
me
vocal swabs
dizzy.
from me that you know of?
Not that I know of, no, sir.
Okay, so that's the DNA that was used for the FDLE report. Is that correct?
I would assume so. That's not my purview, but I
Oh, but
would-
you bagged it and you tagged it, right?
and turned it in.
And then it goes from that to whoever is going to do the testing or whatever.
Yes, sir.
Right, gotcha. Okay. All right, so we're at that stage. Now, did you interview any of the witnesses in the case?
I was there when Roosevelt Washington was interviewed.
Okay,
Roosevelt, Washington, there's a handle.
Did he say I had anything to do with this?
Objection here
Or-
sustained.
Did he
Wait,
have any
finishing.
evidence, anything of evidentiary value to add to your investigation?
No,
Okay, so nothing from Roosevelt Washington, right? And please tell me, tell the jury actually who Roosevelt Washington was and why you would even be interviewing.
he was in the trailer with Matthew Bonnet when the robbery occurred.
Okay, so this is another person who was on scene when it actually happened.
Yes, sir.
Okay, but he didn't have anything to say really of evidentiary value.
No, sir.
Okay, all right. So moving on. Any other witnesses that that you actually talked to?
I talked to one subject, Odom. I don't remember his first name.
Would that be,
They're one of the neighborhood canvases,
would it be Austin Odom?
probably,
Okay, and do you remember why he was of interest to you?
because we were talking to all kinds of people that were in the area, and he lived at the warehouse.
Okay, so lived at the warehouse. To be clear, was it thought that we were all living at the warehouse?
I believe Paula stated that she thought Detroit lived there.
She's gotten a trike lift there?
That Detroit, Roy
Oh, Detroit
Wilson,
lived there. Gotcha.
lived there.
Could you please again tell them who Detroit, AKA
Detroit
is?
is the street name for Rory Wilson.
Okay. Now, you're saying because you got information that Detroit lived there, right? Now, how did you guys obtain this information?
That was, I believe Paula told me that in her interview,
She told you?
that he lived in a warehouse, possibly on Front Street, but she wasn't certain, but it
Okay.
was in that area.
Now, could you, if I let you refer
I know.
to your affidavit, would you have wrote the same thing in your affidavit?
I'm sorry, what?
Did you write the same thing, what you just said to us in your affidavit, that you had found that out by Paula Belamonte's
I don't know
statements?
if I wrote that in my affidavit or not.
Okay, but do you remember what you wrote in your affidavit?
I remember a majority of what I wrote. It's
Just,
4 pages long.
okay, no, I'm sorry. I was, just not that one, right?
But
That one you don't remember.
I don't remember if I wrote that in
Uh-oh.
there or not.
Just want to clarify.
Stumbling
Alright,
over his
so- Do you
tongue.
remember what else you wrote in that affidavit?
Can you be more specific?
Okay, about my part in the crime. Do you remember how I came about to be a suspect?
Yes.
Okay, and how was that?
We had found out that Rory Wilson had been at Metro PCS to pay a phone bill with another subject.
Was I a subject at that point?
No,
Okay, so I was nobody at this point,
correct.
okay?
At
And,
this point, I'm gonna object. He asked a question, and he's not letting your computer answer.
well, it's just,
I'm gonna overrule the objection at this point.
I would, again, I apologize. I just,
I overruled the objection. I didn't see.
He does, he just, he's
Miss-
sucking
Miss
up to
Malone.
that jury. Oh my
Then
God.
how did I become a suspect as far as, okay, you didn't know anything about me at this point. Metro PCS, phone bill, please continue.
They, I
Jeez.
believe Metro PCS gave us your name because I believe it was you that was actually paying your phone bill. And then
Wow.
2 of the general crimes detectives that was assisting us went over to, I believe, the warehouse and talked to you, and you gave us the name of Rory Detroit Wilson.
Okay. Did they say I acted suspicious or that there was something that, something I did that made me a suspect at that point?
No,
Okay, so I'm still not a suspect, right?
no, sir.
Okay, and so please continue. Where'd we go after that? How did, again, how do I become a suspect?
Once we determined the legal name of Detroit, because that's all that Paula could give us was street name Detroit, and there's shockingly
Wow.
quite a few people that go by the street name Detroit. Once we were able to get a name for him, that's when we prepared the search warrant for where Detroit Rory Wilson was living at the warehouse. When we executed the search warrant at the warehouse, Mr. Tucker, you were there.
Okay, but just to, again, I'm not trying to stop you in your middle of your statement. But since we're going to pause, I just want to pause right there. Okay, so still not a suspect, right?
No, sir.
Okay, so the search warrant, was my name on there to be detained?
I don't believe anybody's name was on there to be detained.
I thought you said you went and got it for Rory Wilson's apartment.
I did.
Okay, so was Rory Wilson supposed to be detained if he was a suspect of being Detroit?
That's the standard practice with the sheriff's office when we execute a search warrant. Every individual that's in that premise is detained.
Okay, please, and this is my ignorance, and I'm going to actually ask you to explain to the jury because I'm kind of ignorant of these things. Please explain to them the whole process as far as the search warrant thing.
Oh my
Search warrant,
God.
what is it that, again, how do you go about this process? When you go from writing it to getting it to
Holy
executing.
crap.
Well, based on, in order to get a search warrant, we get everything that we know at the time that we want to try to go and search a place. We write it out in an affidavit. We have to have what they determine probable cause. We have to have a reason why we're going to this house. We laid it out based on that Paula had identified Rory Wilson Detroit as the guy that held a knife to her throat and punched her a whole bunch of times in the face while finding her purse. We now know who he is. So now we want to go search his house because she identified him and we want to see what evidence is in the house. Once we as the detectives, once I wrote the search warrant, I then give that form to the state attorney because they're the lawyers and everything, and they look at it and they say yay or nay as to whether there's enough to bother a judge with to sign the search warrant. The state attorneys at the time determined, yes, we had enough. We woke up a judge, and the judge actually met me at the sheriff's office headquarters, signed the search warrant. And then once we have that signed search warrant, depending on the type of search warrant it is, and this search warrant was for the residence of a murder suspect, we had our SWAT team execute the search warrant because when there's that type of crime, there's a danger to everybody involved. And they're trained in doing that, and they do it all the time. Us detectives that don't do that stuff, we set the perimeter, which is what I did. I was on the perimeter. They executed the search warrant, which there's a lot of, they have to read it to the occupants. And again, whenever we do a search warrant, be it for, especially on a residence, everybody that's in that residence is going into handcuffs.
Yeah, it's
pretty much immediately.
It's painful.
And they're detained.
Is that about it?
Yeah, I believe so. I think I covered it.
Okay, good. Thank you for explaining that to him. Okay, so now going back to the search
Unreal.
warrant and executed and how you get it and all that stuff. Is it based on an address or is it based on the subject? Is it based on the person or on the address?
Good Lord.
Honestly, it depends on the type of search warrant.
I'm talking about the one you wrote. Do you
It was
remember?
based on the address.
It's based on the address. So Rory Wilson wasn't actually considered, you weren't, there's nothing in there saying detain Rory Wilson.
Not that I recall.
Okay, but did you have the intentions on detaining Rory Wilson if you saw him there?
Absolutely.
Okay, because he's a murder suspect. That makes sense, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right, so, again, you're going there, you have the search warrant for Rory Wilson's apartment, and you're going there with the intention of detaining Rory. Okay, now again, is there any reason to detain me at this point?
Because you're
Good
in the apartment.
Lord.
Just because I'm in the apartment, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, would you agree that if you went into, again, apartments, right, say it was apartment complex, what happens when you go into the wrong apartment?
I don't know. I don't think I've ever done that.
Okay, well, again, as far as search warrants go, it has to be for that specific location. You can't just get a search warrant and go wherever you want, right?
Correct.
Okay, so it's very specific, right?
I don't even understand why he's just going on and
Okay, was
on
Rory
and
Wilson
on
renting
and
the
on
upstairs?
and on.
I have no idea.
You have no idea. Did anybody else know that was there?
Not that I know of.
So nobody knew this. Did you have a meeting before you go and execute this, or, do you
Good
guys
God.
just go over there and knock on the door?
No, we had a meeting
Okay,
prior.
so you had a meeting prior, and, again, you're not specific, though. You're not very sure about which areas are
Holy
Wilson's and which ones are
Tyrone
not.
Tucker.
Correct, because we're talking about a warehouse that was
Have a good night,
makeshift into
James.
apartments.
Okay. Makeshift into apartments, right?
Yes,
So
sir.
big warehouse, though, right?
Yes, very
Okay.
big warehouse.
And
Good night.
lots of different sections of those, right?
Lots of doors. I never fully went inside it, so I couldn't.
Okay. Well, based on when you were inside of it, did it seem like there were walls that separated out the different sections, or was
Yes.
it, okay, it was just one big open room?
No, there was walls, and it was made into an apartment. There was a bathroom. I
And
remember
so-
that. I believe there was a bedroom.
So you didn't search any of the other sections or the other apartments in those sections?
I didn't search any.
Did anybody search those
I-
apartments?
I don't know, sir.
I'm just asking you, okay, I know where you guys executed the warrant, right?
Yes.
Any of the other sections that we just talked about, those sections in that warehouse where there's other apartments or other, whatever people are renting, right? Did you guys search any of those?
No.
Okay. And again, why wouldn't you search those?
Because that's not where Rory Wilson lived.
Right, because that's not where Rory Wilson lived. Now, Rory Wilson, according to, again, the documents that
Oh
he
my
submitted, I guess,
God.
he was that was his apartment in the back, right?
I don't
If
remember.
this guy
his
turns
background, but yes.
out to be innocent,
And-
he's the
But
most
do you remember having
irritating,
any other door other than the one that
freaking
was in the
innocent dude
warehouse?
I've ever seen.
There was one in the front, and then there was one in the back of the
No,
warehouse.
that's even why we said that, right? That you were at the front.
Yes.
There are other people who came in from the back.
Yes, sir.
Right, okay. And then that was targeted as Rory Wilson's apartment. Okay. Again, so you wouldn't know or have known whether or not the upstairs was part of Rory Wilson's apartment.
No, I would not have known that.
Okay. And had the Monroe County Sheriff's Department, had it ever been to that specific section of the warehouse prior to, the no-knock raid on there that you know of?
I don't even know what to say about this, guys. I'm just kind
Just
of like,
curious,
what?
'cause, again, I don't know.
What
if
is
you've knocked
going
that door ever
on?
before. That's what I'm asking. Okay, so this is your first time at the warehouse, Rory Wilson's apartment. And did they take anything of any evidentiary value out of that you know of?
They took evidence, but I was not there. I don't know what all they took.
Okay, so you didn't take any, but
No.
they did take evidence
They
from
took
there.
stuff,
Okay.
yes, sir.
I know, and you don't know if it had evidentiary value or not.
I do not.
Okay, good. All right, so okay, now we're up to, let's see, just before I get arrested, right? Or just when I got arrested. Okay, what was your involvement with the investigation after all the suspects had been arrested?
Not much.
Okay. And we talked about Anthony,
Fair.
the suspect's still at large, right?
Correct. Not a suspect, but somebody we wanted to interview.
Okay, you want an interviewer, but again, I don't want to get redundant here, but okay.
You bet.
So, you know, again,
I
according to your
don't want to
affidavit,
get
she's
redundant.
been named a suspect by a few different witnesses,
Yes.
Okay.
but she's not a suspect to go and try and find.
Oh my God, man.
That wasn't my,
Their audio's going in and out. I don't know what that's about.
So what was, you said there wasn't much involvement for you after this, right? As far as after what, after Rory and me and Travis? and
Yeah.
us, Right?
I mean,
There's
it's
not much
painful.
involvement for you
It's
after that.
painful.
no, just like the search warrant of
The truck.
the
If they're
truck
even
and
still awake.
the recovery of Paula's backpack.
Okay. Let's get back to the search on the truck because, you know, that reminds me of that. The search on the truck. Again, you go there. We've already established that it wasn't impounded for like, what, 10, 15, 20 days?
It wasn't searched.
Objection's been asked and answered.
Okay. Well, okay. Okay. Well, in that case, was the truck ever impounded?
Same objection.
We haven't established that it was impounded.
It's been asked and answered. I'm going to sustain the
Okay.
objection.
Okay.
He argues with the
What happened
judge.
to
Yeah,
the
this is
truck
a little
afterwards?
familiar.
We left it where it was parked.
Left it where it was parked. Okay.
Feeling a
Did
little
anybody ever
familiar.
the truck?
I have no idea.
I have no idea. Okay. Let's get back to the search of it. Now you said, you know, that Captain Phelps was there, you were there. Who's CCFO?
Well,
I'm-
let's see if
I was just gonna ask about-
Excuse me. Let's see if there's something new that hasn't been asked.
Okay. Who's CC Hoverson?
She is a deputy that works in the training division.
Okay. And why was she at this search of a vehicle used in a homicide?
For learning training purposes.
She was learning.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Now, did the forensics guy, you said John Underwood that was there, if I remember correctly,
Yes, sir.
did he search the vehicle?
I believe he did.
Okay. You believe he did, but do you know he did?
I don't recall if he did or not.
Okay. And you said the search, if you remember right, that you videotaped the search, right? So would John Underwood be on that video?
We're just not learning
checking
anything
out the
new.
truck?
I don't recall if he.
Did
Sir,
I can't believe how long he
Okay.
stretched.
Now, you don't recall if he
this
searched the truck
out.
at all? Do you remember, you know, I mean, I would imagine he would have went before you. So, I mean, you know, do you remember you gave a reason why or why not he wouldn't?
Almost 2.5 hours.
I really, it was 6 years ago. I don't remember who.
Did you search the truck?
Yes.
Okay. What'd you find in it?
I would have to look at my report for everything. I mean, we found drug paraphernalia. We found some mask, some knives.
Ooh.
Okay. Some masks, some knives, some drug paraphernalia.
And that's,
Pretty, was any of that taken into evidence?
yes.
Okay, good. And they ever, again, did it ever prove to have any evidentiary value?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay, so none of it actually. You know, did you guys do anything special with it? Did you?
Wow.
The search of the truck, how did you go about you know, again, is there a procedure for it? Is there something that, you know, a certain way you have to do it, anything like that?
I wonder if this
Just
is like
the same standard,
frustrating the
having the
jurors.
search warrant, having the state look
Do
at
you think they're
it,
getting frustrated by
saying yay
this?
or nay, and then having a judge look at it and saying yes or no, signing it, and then there's procedural things where we got to record.
I know.
The search warrant, like in the case of a house, we'd read it to the occupants. In the case of an unoccupied truck, we read it to the unoccupied truck. And then paperwork that we have to give to like the owner of the truck, stuff like that, but nothing other than that.
Okay. Ms. Malone, now at this point, you're a Detective Malone, right?
Yes, sir.
homicide detective, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And do you think it would have been prudent to take a vehicle that's been used in homicide, to impound it?
Objection argumentative.
I'm asking for expertise.
Oh,
The homicide detective, I would assume they have.
Overrule the objection. If you have opinion on that question, you may render it.
The issue with the trunk was the time delay and us actually
Trunk.
knowing where the truck was. And we did have our crime scene guy do, like, you could do blood, check for blood on stuff with lights and glasses, and he didn't see anything that would have been overly impactful, so there didn't seem to be a reason to impound the truck.
Didn't you just say a second ago that he didn't look at the truck?
All right, I misspoke. I don't remember what he did, but now that as we're talking about it, I remember him looking at that type of stuff.
Blood and, what'd you say
Look-
else?
Looking for if there was blood.
Okay, but he did do that, right?
I do believe so, yes.
And we'll go back and then take a look at that.
Okay, I think, excuse me,
I
Mr.
was-
Tucker, but I think that this is about as good a stopping point for.
I think so too, Your Honor. Thank you.
oh my God.
We're gonna-
Nice. Holy guys. Hola. Oh, uh-oh. She's back on, this poor woman.
Okay,
Okay.
we're ready to proceed.
I appreciate it, Your Honor. There's one video that's still downloading, keeps on wanting to resume or whatever, but I figured since I don't want to waste time, there's some things that don't need to require the videos, that I'd go proceed with those, and wait for the video later.
Okay, bring in the jury, please.
Just unreal. My God. I hope we don't have to watch hours and hours of this poor woman again. This guy's pretty bloody cocky. He doesn't hesitate to argue with the judge, no matter, I mean, he interrupts them. It's just, whoa. I mean, is he speaking passionately because he's innocent? Or have we got like Daryl Brooks again?
Good afternoon, members of the jury. Welcome back from lunch. Hope it was pleasant. Thank you for your patience. We had to attend to a couple other details, so I know you waited in the jury room patiently, and I do appreciate it, but we're ready to continue with the cross-examination and the latest witness, that's State versus Tucker. Witness, please come back.
No.
Good afternoon, and I'll just remind you, you're still under oath.
Yes, sir.
All right, so we can proceed with the continued cross-examination.
Dang.
All right. Good afternoon. Thank you guys for being patient. It's been a little rough with technical things. Ms. Malone, now you said you are no longer a detective, no longer a homicide detective. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And what department do you work in now?
I still work for the sheriff's office. I work in the 911 center.
Okay. Is that a civilian position or is that a
Oh.
bench position?
It's a civilian position.
And how did you come to be in that position?
I requested to go into dispatch.
Okay.
Oh.
Recognize this approach.
Well, state's seen the document.
Hi, was
Well,
you sleeping?
regardless.
Here we go again. What are you got in your mouth?
Yes.
Hola.
May we approach?
It is a letter of recommendation from, I believe it was Major Shabuya, that I no longer be a major crimes detective.
Okay. Now you just testified that this
Oh.
move down to dispatch was voluntary, correct?
It was, yes.
Okay. But Major Scabilia is your boss, correct?
He's the boss of pretty much everybody at the sheriff's office, yes.
Okay. And in this letter, he's making a recommendation that what?
That I not be a detective, but I still was going to be a cop.
Did he give you were still going to be a cop?
Yes,
Oh.
You just told me you're not in a badge position.
because I requested a non-badge position.
Okay, good. Let me clarify that. Okay. What else did it say?
Yikes.
This recommendation for you. Why did he give? What reason did he give as to why he didn't want you to be a major crimes detective?
I know.
I had fallen behind on paperwork on some of my cases in 2019.
Okay. And
Hey,
how many
guys.
cases was that?
I hate to do
I
this
don't
to
know
you,
the
but we're going to
exact
pause
numbers.
this right where it
Do
is.
you remember reading?
A little bit different than what I usually do. But what we're going to do is we're going to go on a chase for a M suspect. So make sure you hit that bell because we're going to pop up on the other side here again. So we will get back to this, but we're going to take a little bit of a break from the stress, and I'll see you there.